Hello everybody and welcome to probably the heart of Ignite. We are on the show floor, we are surrounded by everybody, and I'm hanging out with Jeff Whitaker of NetApp. And Jeff, what brings you to Orlando?
So we're here showing off a new service, which is actually a Microsoft service called Azure NetApp Files that we actually helped build for Microsoft.
Wait a second, so you guys built this, and is Microsoft, they're not getting the credit for it, are they?
So I think we're both getting the credit for this one. So we're actually offering a service that allows customers to do more in Microsoft Azure than they were in the past, but yet being able to bring some of the functionality of NetApp into that same environment.
So if you guys built it and Microsoft's helping to sell it, clearly you guys are probably the expert on this. I don't think there's any way anybody could know more about it than you.
I would hope so. So yeah, we're actually, we've been doing data environments, we've been doing data services for a number of years. We've actually been around 25 years, so we have a lot of expertise in the file space alone, and I think that's part of why we actually started doing some of the partnership, some of the activities with Microsoft to bring that expertise to Azure.
Gotcha, so let's walk through a scenario. When would people need this? What is it going to help them do? How's it going to make their life better?
So making their life better, this is really focused initially around Linux applications. So customers that have a requirement to run Linux in Azure and actually have access to files, that's something they just don't have today. So being able to access that, but then we bring along with it performance, capabilities of managing the environment, a lot that we bring into it so that they can do more with their applications, bring more environments into Azure, do it for their high-performance applications, do it for their Linux environments.
Interesting. So, is this more of a cloud solution or a hybrid, or who's your target client for something like this?
So our target client for this is twofold, right? Anybody that's running in Azure is the right target for this. But also for those folks that are actually moving into Azure from a data center environment, where possibly they may have NetApp on one side in their data center itself. This would be something that could bring in and have some of the feature and capabilities that they have on the data center. They actually could bring that into the cloud as well.
Interesting. So let's talk about deployment here. Then how, somebody wants to get up and running with this. Where's the client get installed? How does that process all work?
So this is a true Microsoft Azure service. You may think of, we're here to help build this, but you go to Microsoft Azure, you go to the portal, and you can find Azure NetApp Files on their portal and deploy it directly from there. And to the point, actually, they are the seller, right? If you have an EA agreement with Microsoft, then you can actually consume Azure NetApp Files through that EA agreement.
Well, it doesn't get much simpler than that. It's just click and run software at that point?
It basically is. So one of the things we like to talk about, it's just a few clicks and you can have file services running on top of Azure.
And this all goes back to how Microsoft and its partners are making their cloud what they hope to be the best, because obviously the cloud is very heavily competed against Microsoft. We have Amazon, Google's floating around there a little bit, but this partner ecosystem, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like it's flourishing.
I think it really is, and Microsoft's made it a very large effort in order to support the partners so that we can help bring more of the services and the applications and the environments and bring more customers into the Microsoft platform. And specifically with Azure NetApp Files, it's allowed us, the work that we've done with Microsoft has really provided an environment that brings performance, I think, better than anything out there in the storage space.
Gotcha. So let's talk about how you guys worked with Microsoft here. So did they approach you? Did you approach them? Or was it just kind of a mutual, this is pretty awesome software and we want to get it directly into Azure? Or how'd that conversation evolve?
So I wasn't there in the beginning, but I will tell you there was a lot of interest that came in because of the Linux requirement. I think that the number that I've heard from some of the analysts has been around half of the applications that run on top of Azure are Linux-based. And that put a gap into all the files and the file services that are required there. Getting more applications into Azure required this new service. And we started the discussions with them at that point in time, as we've had a long time. We've been partners with Microsoft for around 17 years now. So that's probably what a lot of that tie-in and what brought us that level, got that expertise discussion.
Yeah, it absolutely feels like a mutually beneficial product for everybody. And Microsoft has talked time and time again about how when you think of their cloud, don't just think of Windows. They love Linux. They had I think it was a build 2 years ago. It says Microsoft loves Linux. They're talking about Red Hat and all these other guys. So hearing that it's around 50%, that makes complete and total sense about why they have such a strong push into that environment.
Yeah, agreed.
If people want to learn more about what you guys are doing or just anything else in the NetApp world, what's the best way to contact you or to find out and learn more?
So the best way to learn more is to go to the NetApp website. We have www.netapp.com/Azure. And that's the best place to find. We've got information there. We got videos. We got a lot of stuff that can get you going. And then we can tie you directly into requesting access to the service, and then jump on over to Azure, and off you go.
Fantastic, Jeff. Very much appreciate your time letting us know what's going on in the NetApp world. You can always find out more at their website or at Petri.com. And we'll catch you right back here next time on the Petri Dish, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.